Nurseries of the Stars. It's not just a beautiful name for regions in space. It's a real incubator for new stars. For instance, the Eagle Nebula, also known as Messier 16, is located about 2,000 light-years away from Earth and is a vast cloud of gas and dust where stars are born. The thing is, in this cloud, the density of gas is such that in some areas, gravitational collapses occur, leading to the formation of new stars. These stars can have masses many times greater than that of our Sun, and their lives will be completely different. Isn't it amazing? In the Eagle Nebula, there are stars that can shine millions of times brighter than our Sun. And that's not all. When stars form, they are surrounded by massive protoplanetary disks made of gas and dust. These disks can eventually turn into planetary systems. But there's more. In the Eagle Nebula, there are areas where the temperature reaches -200 degrees Celsius, creating ideal conditions for the formation of molecules like water and carbon dioxide. This leads to the thought that on these distant planets, conditions for life may exist. When a star reaches maturity, it begins to emit powerful streams of energy that can affect the surrounding environment, expelling the remnants of gas and dust into open space. This phenomenon is called a stellar wind, and it can disperse clouds of gas, contributing to the formation of new stars in neighboring regions. Now imagine this cosmic spectacle, where some stars are born and others die, creating conditions for the formation of entire galaxies. In the Eagle Nebula, for example, the most active areas of star formation in our galaxy are observed, and scientists continue to study these processes to understand exactly how stars and planets are formed. It's worth noting that stars like massive blue supergiants exist for only a few million years before they explode as supernovae. This explosive death not only ends the life of the star, but also releases heavy elements like carbon and oxygen into space, which then become building blocks for future stars and planets. And what's even more astonishing, these processes happen at an incredible speed. A star can form in just a few million years, and in the cosmos, this is nothing. Astronomers and astronauts who have ventured into open space have often described a strange and memorable smell they experience upon returning to the spacecraft. Imagine this: a mixture of hot metal, welding, and grilled meat. These are the associations that astronauts have after exiting their spacesuits. This phenomenon, known as the space smell, is not just a figment of their imagination or hallucination, but a real physical effect explained by scientific facts. When astronauts spend time in the vacuum of space, tiny particles composed of atoms and molecules, ejected from various sources such as the solar wind and interstellar gas, accumulate on their spacesuits. These particles interact with the spacesuits, giving them a unique smell that makes astronauts feel as if they have spent time on a hot barbecue, while in reality, they were in the silent void. Interestingly, the smell becomes particularly noticeable when the spacesuit is opened and the air inside mixes with the cosmic environment. Astronaut Donald Pettit described it as like frying a steak while your wiring is on fire. Now, imagine astronauts not only experiencing this smell, but also studying it. Research shows that the smell is caused by chemical reactions occurring between the particles and the materials of the spacesuits. These reactions can be linked to high temperatures and radiation present in space. For example, components like iron and carbon can oxidize, creating aromas reminiscent of welding. But that's not all. The smell can vary depending on the location of the spacewalk. On the Moon, for instance, the smell is described as metallic, with a hint of sulfur. This could be due to the various minerals and substances on the lunar surface that behave differently under low pressure and vacuum conditions. Astronomers note that such smells could even be useful in future research of other planets and moons, as they can serve as indicators of the chemical composition of the surface. What's even more astonishing is that observations show that the smell of space could become an important part of the preparation of future astronauts. The realization that they will encounter something completely new can change their perception of space missions. Imagine a celestial body that doesn't quite make it to become a star, yet isn't a typical planet: brown dwarfs. These mysterious objects have masses ranging from 30 to 75 Jupiter masses, but lack the critical mass to initiate thermonuclear reactions that make stars so bright. The discovery of brown dwarfs was a true breakthrough in astronomy. They were first noticed in 1995 when astronomers found an object named Lumen. And here's where things get really strange. Brown dwarfs can have atmospheres containing water and methane, like planets, but their temperature can reach only a few hundred degrees Celsius. What's even more astonishing, their surfaces can be covered with clouds of crystalline ice that sparkle like diamonds against the dark cosmos. Brown dwarfs can be 10 times larger than our Sun, but appear as faint points of light, almost invisible in the night sky. Some of them even have moons, making them resemble mini-systems like our solar planets. But that's not all. Brown dwarfs can be sources of powerful radio waves, and in 2017, astronomers detected a burst of radio signals from a brown dwarf located about 130 light-years away from Earth. It's intriguing to think that such signals could be the result of magnetic storms or interactions with other cosmic objects. And the most mind-boggling part? Some scientists suggest that our galaxy may contain up to 30% brown dwarfs of the total number of stars. This means that our cosmos hides a multitude of unsolved mysteries waiting to be discovered. When an object approaches a black hole, it enters a zone where gravitational forces begin to act in such a way that it results in an effect known as cosmic spaghetti. Imagine standing at the edge of an invisible whirlpool, where the force of gravity becomes so powerful that it can stretch even massive stars into thin, elongated strands. This gravitational force varies depending on the distance. The closer you are to the black hole, the stronger it becomes. The outer layers of the object experience less attraction than the inner layers, causing it to stretch. Scientists have calculated that the difference in gravity can reach millions of times, sounding like a scenario from a science fiction film. How does this happen? When an object passes the point known as the event horizon, it becomes trapped and cannot escape. But that's not all. Did you know that when a star the size of the Sun falls into a black hole, its material can be stretched into a thread up to 30,000 kilometers long? This is longer than the distance from Earth to the Moon. And here's where things get really crazy. During this gravitational spaghetti process, high-energy particles are ejected into space, traveling vast distances and creating powerful X-ray beams. These X-ray beams can be detected by telescopes on Earth, giving scientists a unique opportunity to study black holes. But how exactly are these beams formed? This is due to the fact that as the object is stretched, it heats up to such high temperatures that it begins to emit light in the X-ray range. If you thought these were already shocking facts, here's more. Some black holes can accumulate matter so quickly that their accretion disks become brighter than entire galaxies. It's as if you are witnessing a flash of light that outshines everything else. By the way, the most massive black holes can have masses of billions of solar masses and are found at the centers of most galaxies, including our own. Each of these black holes can be surrounded by numerous stars and gases that, under the influence of gravity, begin to twist and form spirals, creating cosmic vortices. And imagine this. In these vortices, objects can repeatedly undergo the spaghetti effect, creating a symphony of cosmic destruction and rebirth. Isn't it incredible? This is just a small fraction of the mysteries hidden in the universe, and each new discovery only adds to the fascination. Dark matter. Is it something mysterious, or is it entirely real? Approximately 27% of the entire universe is composed of this enigmatic substance. But what is most astonishing is that we cannot see it. Imagine this. In the sky, there are stars, planets, and even black holes. And yet, hidden between them is an invisible mass that nonetheless exerts a colossal gravitational influence. Scientists first began to speak of dark matter in the 1930s, when astronomer Fritz Zwicky noticed that galaxies in the Coma cluster were moving so fast that, according to his calculations, they could not remain together without additional mass that was invisible. But that's not all. Recent observations show that dark matter may be distributed throughout the universe, forming webs and streams that determine how galaxies and other objects interact with each other. Now imagine if we could see dark matter. Its form might resemble fluffy clouds surrounding visible objects. But what is the secret? Why have we not been able to detect it directly? The main reason is that dark matter does not interact with electromagnetic forces, meaning it does not emit light like stars do. All we can do is study its effects on visible matter, such as the rotation of galaxies. Research shows that the speed of rotation of galaxies is too great to be explained by the amount of visible matter we can observe. This discovery was a breakthrough in astrophysics. But wait, there's more. In thousands of research laboratories around the world, scientists are working to uncover the nature of dark matter. One of the most popular hypotheses is the existence of weakly interacting massive particles that could make up dark matter. These particles, if they exist, mainly do not interact with ordinary matter, and therefore we cannot see them. So what is really hidden in dark matter? The answer could change our understanding of the universe and how it works. With each passing year, new experiments bring us closer to solving this mystery. For example, detectors of dark matter, such as LWEX Zeppelin, could be the key to understanding the nature of this invisible mass, and this discovery could happen very soon. Imagine this. On Enceladus, a moon of Saturn, geysers of water spout from cracks in the icy crust, reaching heights of up to 500 kilometers. Yes, you heard it right. These water plumes reach heights exceeding the heights of most Earth mountains. Scientific research indicates that beneath this icy shell lies a vast ocean, potentially containing more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. What is truly astonishing is that these geysers eject not just water, but water rich in salts and organic molecules, raising questions about the possibility of life in this cold but active world. And here's what's even more shocking. These geysers were first observed by the Cassini spacecraft in 2006, and since then, scientists have been actively studying their composition and origin. They discovered that the ejected water jets can reach speeds of up to 2,000 kilometers per hour, comparable to the power of a rocket engine. Now, imagine the forces driving this water at such a distance from the sun, where temperatures exceed minus 300 degrees Celsius. Intriguing is the fact that these geysers may hold the key to understanding the geological activity of the moon, which is believed to be linked to ocean currents within the subsurface ocean. How can such powerful eruptions occur on this cold moon? The answer lies in the complex interplay of processes taking place beneath the surface, where heat released by the decay of radioactive elements warms the water enough to allow it to break through the ice. And here's where it gets really fascinating. In one of the plumes formed in 2017, molecules were found that could be precursors to life. This discovery raises many questions about the prevalence of life in our solar system. But that's not all. The geysers on Enceladus could also become the target of future missions exploring how life might develop in extreme conditions. Each plume ejected into space is not just water, it's a whole story about the conditions that could support life on other planets. And now, imagine that these geysers could aid in the search for extraterrestrial life, as they provide samples of water directly into space, where they can be studied using space telescopes. On Titan, Saturn's moon, lakes filled with methane have been discovered, and its atmosphere is composed of 85% nitrogen, making it remarkably similar to the conditions that existed on ancient Earth. Imagine this. Titan's surface is covered in liquid methane oceans, covering an area comparable to the size of Lake Superior. But these are not just pools of methane. They form entire systems of rivers and seas shaped by harsh weather conditions, including methane rain, creating a unique atmosphere where the pressure is 30% higher than on Earth. What's even more astonishing? The temperature on Titan fluctuates around minus 175 degrees Celsius, making it one of the coldest places in the solar system. Under these conditions, methane exists in liquid form, not only forming lakes, but also wind-blown dunes up to 30 meters high. These dunes, composed of hydrocarbons, create a landscape reminiscent of something halfway between Earth and another planet. But beneath this methane crust, there may lie keys to the mysteries of life. Scientific research suggests that such conditions could have supported life similar to that which existed on Earth billions of years ago. What if, deep within these methane lakes, there are microorganisms that have evolved in conditions we can barely imagine? The Cassini mission's research confirmed that Titan contains complex organic molecules, indicating that conditions for life may be more favorable than we thought. And the most intriguing detail? Titan's atmosphere contains not only methane clouds, but also traces of ethane, opening new horizons for studying chemical processes that may be similar to those that occurred on early Earth. Imagine if one day space missions could confirm the presence of life on Titan. This would revolutionize our understanding of life in the cosmos. And the most astonishing thing? Scientists believe that in the near future, with the help of new technologies, we will be able to explore this mysterious world in greater detail than ever before. Planet HD 89,973,303b is remarkable not only for its location, but also for the conditions that prevail on it. Imagine a world where rain consists of glass shards that gleam brightly against a scorching sky. The temperature on this planet reaches around 1,000 degrees Celsius, making it one of the hottest exoplanets known to humanity. Under such conditions, it's hard to imagine how life could even exist. But that's not the most unusual aspect. Winds on HD 89,973,303b can reach speeds of up to 8,700 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound. How is this possible? It's due to its close proximity to a star that is 30 times brighter than our Sun. Intense radiation heats the atmosphere to extreme temperatures, creating conditions where water vapor condenses into hot clouds, which then fall as sharp glass droplets when the wind reaches critical speed. These droplets can be so sharp that they can cut through anything in their path, resembling a deadly shower of blades. But that's not all. The atmosphere of HD 89,973,303b is composed of carbon dioxide and hydrogen, making it completely inhospitable to life as we know it. However, life can take many forms. Scientists suggest that such extreme conditions could be ideal for the existence of unique life forms that we can hardly imagine. On this planet, the atmospheric pressure is several times higher than on Earth, creating extraordinary conditions for study. Research shows that the clouds on HD 89,973,303b can be filled with silicate crystals that form the glass rain. How do they form? When hot gases collide with cooler layers of the atmosphere, instantaneous condensation occurs, and crystals begin to form at heights of several kilometers, eventually falling to the surface. And the most astonishing thing? Water has been found on this planet, but in a form that makes its existence almost impossible. This planet opens new horizons for astronomy and planetology, forcing us to question the limits of life in the universe. According to inflation theory, our universe may be just one of many bubbles in a vast multiverse, and this discovery makes us question the nature of reality. Imagine each bubble as a separate universe where the laws of physics could be entirely different from ours. For instance, in one of these bubbles, gravity might be twice as strong, while in another, time could flow in reverse. This idea is based on mathematical models proposed by scientists like Andrei Linde and Alexei Starobinsky, who calculated that inflation is not a single process, but a multitude of parallel events occurring simultaneously. And what's even more astonishing, our universe is expanding at a speed exceeding 30 kilometers per second per megaparsec. And this speed could be just one of many different scenarios existing in other bubbles. But that's not all. According to some research, these bubble universes may constantly form and dissolve, like bubbles in champagne, which challenges even the very notion of the constancy of time and space. How can we learn about other bubbles if they might be beyond our observation? The answer lies in theoretical physics and quantum mechanics, where scientists are trying to understand how these bubbles might interact or intersect with each other. In some models, interactions between bubbles could create unique events, such as the birth of new particles or even new laws of physics in this process. Moreover, in such scenarios, every event in our universe could be a result of a collision with another bubble, opening new horizons for understanding our place in the cosmos. And the most intriguing part, if this theory is correct, we live in a world where possibilities are limitless, and every decision we make could influence the fates of other bubbles. This raises many questions about how we perceive reality and what existence means in a multifaceted universe. What do you think might be hidden beyond the boundaries of our bubble? Imagine this. The observable universe has a diameter of 93 billion light-years, yet the universe itself has existed for only 13 and 8/10 billion years. How is this possible? It is due to the fact that space itself is expanding. When we look at distant galaxies, we see them as they were billions of years ago. But because of the expansion of the cosmos, the distance to them has become much greater than we might expect. For example, light from the most distant objects, such as galaxies at the edge of the observable universe, can travel billions of years. But because of the speed at which space itself is expanding, these objects are now at a distance exceeding 93 billion light-years. This raises the question, how exactly does this expansion occur? The answer lies in the concept of the cosmological constant, proposed by Albert Einstein, as well as in what is known as dark energy, which, according to recent research, makes up about 70% of all the energy in the universe. This mysterious force acts against gravity, causing the universe to expand at an accelerating rate. But this is not the most astonishing part. Measurements made with the Hubble Space Telescope have shown that the rate of expansion of the universe is approximately 72 kilometers per second per megaparsec. This means that the farther a galaxy is from us, the faster it is receding. And if you think that this is already incredible, know this. Some models predict that in the future, the expansion will become so rapid that distant galaxies will completely disappear from our visible horizon. But how is this related to black holes and their gravitational effects? Black holes have such strong gravitational pull that not even light can escape their grasp. This forces astronomers to rethink our understanding of space and time. And here is where things get truly fascinating. Imagine that at the center of our galaxy lies a black hole with a mass of more than 4 million solar masses. Around it, stars orbit on paths that can be compared to the orbits of planets around the Sun, but on a scale that is difficult to imagine. This creates extraordinary conditions for studying gravitational waves and other cosmic phenomena. Now, consider this. What other mysteries does the universe hold beyond our observable horizon? On the planet WASP-12b, something extraordinary is happening. It is so close to its star that the temperature on its surface reaches an astonishing 2,000 degrees Celsius. You can imagine that under such conditions, the planet's atmosphere literally evaporates into space, creating clouds of hot gases that are rapidly carried away into the void. What is most remarkable about this planet is its shape. Instead of the usual round silhouette, WASP-12b resembles an egg. And this is not a coincidence. Gravitational forces from the star deform it, giving it an elongated shape and warping its surface. The planet's height is approximately 1,400,000 kilometers, which is more than that of most known exoplanets. This planet was discovered by astronomers using the Kepler Space Telescope, which began studying exoplanets in the habitable zone in 2009. But WASP-12b has not only attracted attention due to its parameters, it orbits its star in just one day, meaning its year lasts only 28 hours. This means that light and heat from the star, located about 1,200 light-years from Earth, fall on the planet with such force that any potential moon would be instantly burned. Do you think this makes WASP-12b the hottest exoplanet? In fact, there are other planets in our galaxy, but they are difficult to find due to the vast distances. If you have ever wondered what the sky on such planets might look like, the answer will surprise you. It could be colored in bright orange and red hues, like a sunset, due to the constant presence of hot gases. But that's not all. Scientists believe that the atmosphere of WASP-12b is mainly composed of hydrogen and helium, making it extremely unstable. Every moment on the planet is a struggle against the destructive forces of its star, which is trying to engulf it completely. What do you think will happen if the star becomes even hotter? The secret to this struggle may lie in the fact that the planet continues to exist due to complex physical processes that still need to be studied. And the most incredible thing is that every new day on this planet is a new test, and scientists continue to be amazed by its existence. One day on a neutron star may last only a few milliseconds, which sounds like something out of science fiction, but it is a reality for these incredible cosmic objects. Imagine a star the size of a city rotating so fast that it completes a full rotation in milliseconds. In fact, some neutron stars can make up to 700 rotations per second. This means that in 1 second, they can spin more than 600 times. But that's not all. Imagine the equatorial speed of rotation on such a star reaching 30% of the speed of light. This creates unimaginable conditions where gravity is 1 billion times stronger than on Earth. And here it gets really strange. In such conditions of time, as we understand it, simply does not exist. On the surface of a neutron star, where temperatures reach millions of degrees Celsius, no substance can exist in its familiar form. Instead, matter is compressed into a state where protons and electrons combine into neutrons, creating densities that can rival the density of an atomic nucleus. Do you know what this means? On 1 cubic centimeter of matter on a neutron star, there can be a mass comparable to that of an entire elephant. This leads to effects that are simply impossible to imagine. An hour on such a star passes completely differently than on Earth, and time measurements become inapplicable. But that's not all, since neutron stars emit powerful radio waves and X-ray radiation, making them visible from great distances. Scientists have even discovered pulsars, rotating neutron stars that emit narrow beams of radio waves, creating a periodic flashing effect, like a lighthouse. Do you know that pulsars can have rotation periods of just a few milliseconds? This means that their light waves reach us with an accuracy of milliseconds, allowing astronomers to study these mysterious objects at great distances. And here's the most interesting part. Neutron stars may not be the only ones of their kind. There is a hypothetical class of objects, Kaiser stars, that can rotate even faster and possess even more exotic properties. What secrets do you think they might hold? At the northern pole of Saturn, there is a hexagonal storm that is astonishing in its size. Its diameter is approximately 25,000 kilometers, which is larger than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. This hexagonal formation was first observed in 1980 when the Voyager spacecraft flew by Saturn and captured its remarkable atmospheric phenomena. What is truly intriguing is that the storm has been present for several decades and shows no signs of disappearing. What is most astonishing is that this storm rotates at an incredible speed, reaching up to 130 kilometers per hour, and its edges form perfect geometric angles, as if designed by an artificial designer. Inside the hexagon, powerful storms create unusual color changes, ranging from bright yellow to deep blue, depending on the angle of sunlight and the composition of the clouds. But this is not the strangest thing. Scientists have discovered that the storm has its own cycles of activity, repeating approximately every 29 Earth years. How can it remain so stable and constantly maintain its unique forms? The key to this may lie in the peculiarities of Saturn's atmosphere, where massive gas flows interact at a height of 30 kilometers. This creates ideal conditions for the formation of such large and complex structures. If you thought this was unusual, here's another fact. In some places, the storm's cloud heights reach up to 30 kilometers, making them 3 times higher than the tallest clouds on Earth. Scientists continue to study this phenomenon, trying to understand how the hexagonal storm can maintain its stability over such a long period. It is intriguing to wonder if we will ever unravel all its mysteries. On the surface of the Moon, the footprints of astronauts who walked on it during the Apollo missions are still preserved. These traces, left in the lunar soil, can last for millions of years, and the reason is the absence of atmosphere and erosion. Imagine, no wind, no rain, no vegetation that could erase the memory of these daring explorations. Each step taken by Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin is etched in this inert, lifeless world, where even a dusty lunar footprint can remain visible for billions of years. This means that in millions of years, someone, perhaps future researchers or even extraterrestrial civilizations, might see these traces and wonder who was here. The unique lunar soil, composed of tiny particles, is not subject to the same processes as on Earth, where erosion and destruction occur constantly. The composition of lunar soil includes oxides of silicon, aluminum, and magnesium, which not only create a unique landscape, but also play a role in preserving the traces. What is most astonishing? A lunar day lasts almost 30 Earth days, creating conditions for significant temperature changes, but not for the destruction of traces. Meanwhile, the temperature on the Moon fluctuates from -88 to +130 degrees Celsius. These fluctuations can affect the surface, but not the traces left by astronauts. Moreover, unlike Earth, where traces are quickly washed away by natural factors, here they can remain in perfect condition. Even micrometeoroids, which regularly strike the Moon, do not significantly affect the preservation of the traces. Each meteorite impact leaves its own crater, but the human traces remain untouched, as paradoxical as it may seem. The 8 Apollo missions resulted in numerous artifacts remaining on the Moon, including modules and instruments, which have also been preserved due to the absence of atmospheric influence. If you think this is all, here is the most shocking fact. Each of these objects can be studied even after millions of years, and some scientists already suggest that in the future they may become genuine artifacts for the study of the ancient history of the human race. Thus, the Moon becomes not just a celestial body, but a real museum that preserves the traces of our presence on it. Imagine a cosmic space where the temperature reaches an incredible -273 degrees Celsius. This is not science fiction, but reality in the Boomerang Nebula, located approximately 14,000 light-years away from Earth. But what makes this nebula so unusual? Its temperature is so low that it is the coldest known region in the universe, and this discovery has shocked astronomers. How is this possible? The Boomerang Nebula formed as a result of stellar evolution. A star similar to our Sun exhausted its hydrogen reserves and began to shed its outer layers, creating a cloud of gas and dust. This process cools the gas, and as a result, conditions are created where molecules move at speeds close to zero. But this is not the strangest thing. In the nebula, complex molecules, including carbon compounds, are observed, which form at such extreme temperatures. These molecules could be precursors to those that exist on Earth, and their study opens new horizons in understanding chemistry and astrophysics. Do you know what is even more shocking? In the Boomerang Nebula, bright gas outbursts are observed, moving at speeds of around 100 kilometers per second. This gas forms unique structures resembling flowers blooming in space, and these forms give us an idea of how stars die and how new stars are born. Now imagine that in these cold regions, life could exist in the most exotic forms that we cannot even imagine. And all this happens on the edge of our galaxy, in a nebula that humanity learned about only at the end of the 20th century, thanks to telescopes that could peer into the most distant corners of the cosmos. This discovery raises many questions. How are such conditions formed? Which molecules can survive in such extreme conditions? And do you know what is even more mind-boggling? Some scientists suggest that in such areas, molecules with properties different from anything we know on Earth could exist. This opens doors to endless possibilities and research that could change our understanding of life and matter in the universe. The discovery of hot Jupiters has caused a sensation in astronomy. These giant gas planets, whose mass is several times greater than that of Jupiter, orbit their stars in the opposite direction. Imagine if Earth suddenly started moving in the opposite direction along its orbit. At present, astronomers have registered more than 70 hot Jupiters, each of which challenges existing theories of planet formation. How is this possible? It happens due to complex interactions with other planets or stars in their systems, which can confuse the orbit. What is even more astonishing? Some of these planets are so close to their stars that the temperature on their surface reaches 1,000 degrees Celsius, making them true hellish worlds. In such conditions, even hydrogen molecules can be distorted and transition into other states. But this is not the only astonishing fact. Some hot Jupiters have been found in systems where their stars are in binary systems, complicating their dynamics. In such cases, planets can wander and change their orbits, ending up in completely unexpected paths. The most paradoxical case is the planet WASP-121b, which orbits its star at a distance of only 7 million kilometers. This is 8 times closer than the distance from Earth to the Sun. But that's not all. The temperature on its surface exceeds 1,000 degrees, and the atmosphere is so dense that scientists suggest the presence of clouds made of molten glass, creating incredible meteorological phenomena. Meanwhile, While we ponder how such planets could have formed, scientists continue to develop new observation methods to study their atmosphere and composition. Some of them even suggest that, on such planets, there may be molecules that have never been encountered on Earth. This raises the question, could there be unique chemical compounds among these hellish worlds that could change our understanding of life in the cosmos? The question remains open, and astronomers intend to find out in the next few years when new telescopes like the James Webb are launched, capable of peering into the atmosphere of these mysterious planets. So, keep an eye on the news from space, as each day brings new discoveries. In the cosmos, there are objects that cause scientists to pause in awe. Blazars, one of the most mysterious phenomena in the universe. Blazars are quasars with a unique characteristic. Their jets, powerful outbursts of matter, are directed towards Earth. Imagine these streams of matter moving at speeds close to the speed of light and spanning millions of light years. This means that when we observe blazars, we are not just seeing distant galaxies, but true beacons in the universe, emitting colossal amounts of energy. Did you know that the power of a single blazar can exceed the energy of 30 billion suns? This staggering number becomes even more intriguing when you realize that such objects can be located more than 1 billion light-years away from us. Studying blazars opens doors to understanding not only these objects, but also the laws of physics that govern our universe. For instance, at the heart of a blazar lies a supermassive black hole, whose mass can reach billions of solar masses. How do these black holes create such powerful jets? The secret lies in accretion. When gas and dust are drawn towards the black hole, they form a disk that rotates at tremendous speeds, heating the matter to extreme temperatures and ejecting it into space. But what is truly astonishing is that this process of matter ejection can occur with such force that the temperature of the jets can reach 25 billion kelvins. This is hotter than the center of a star. In this context, blazars become not just objects of study, but true laboratories where we can observe processes that cannot be reproduced on Earth. What is even more astonishing? These jets can affect surrounding galaxies, either triggering star formation or suppressing it. In some cases, when a blazar is near another galaxy, its jet can expel matter with such force that it creates a cosmic wind that blows away the gas and dust needed for new star formation. This makes blazars not just observable phenomena, but active participants in cosmic processes, influencing the evolution of galaxies. Scientific research shows that blazars can even alter the brightness of other objects in their vicinity. For example, if a blazar shoots a jet towards another galaxy, this can lead to an increase in the brightness of certain regions of that galaxy. Historically, the first blazars were discovered in the mid-20th century, and their study has since become one of the most captivating areas of astronomy. Some blazars can change their brightness in just a few days or even hours, giving astronomers a unique opportunity to study the dynamics of these objects. Now, imagine that some blazars might be connected to dark matter and energies that remain a mystery to us. Humanity continues to ask questions. How can these objects help us unravel the mysteries of the universe? What are their true scales and influence on the surrounding space? And what else can blazars surprise us with in the future? On Jupiter, a colossal storm known as the Great Red Spot is raging, and its dimensions are astonishing. This gigantic vortex could fit 3 Earths. This storm has been raging across the vast expanses of Jupiter's atmosphere for more than 350 years, and its existence raises numerous questions about the dynamics of gas giants. Imagine a wind that reaches speeds of up to 260 kilometers per hour in this hurricane. How is this possible? The reason lies in the fact that Jupiter is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, and its powerful magnetic field creates conditions for such massive atmospheric phenomena. But that's not all. The temperature in the upper layers of the clouds reaches minus 120 degrees Celsius, making the atmosphere absolutely inhospitable for life as we know it. Now imagine that beneath this raging storm lie clouds composed not only of water vapor, but also of ammonia, which behaves differently under these conditions. Did you know that the Great Red Spot has become an object of study not only for astronomers, but also for meteorologists, as its dynamics can provide insights into Earth's climate? Research shows that the size of this storm is gradually decreasing, and over the past 100 years, it has shrunk by almost 30%. How is this possible? The answer lies in the changes in Jupiter's atmosphere, which remain a mystery to scientists. But there's something even more remarkable. The Great Red Spot is just one of many storms on Jupiter. In fact, new hurricanes constantly form in its atmosphere, some of which can reach sizes comparable to Earth. This raises even more questions about how these giant planets are structured and how they can maintain such powerful atmospheric phenomena over centuries. At the very center of the galaxy, M87 lies a supermassive black hole with a mass of approximately 6.5 billion solar masses. This discovery was a true sensation, as in 2019, the Event Horizon Telescope team presented the first image of this black hole, which shook the scientific world. Imagine that this photograph was taken using a network of 8 radio telescopes that were combined into a single entity capable of capturing signals from objects located millions of light years away. And the most amazing thing? This image showed not the black hole itself, but its shadow, surrounded by a bright cloud of hot gas and dust that rotates at incredible speeds. In fact, this cloud moves close to the speed of light, creating conditions where matter is heated to millions of degrees. But how is this possible? The secret lies in the fact that the gravity of the black hole is so strong that even light cannot escape from it, making it invisible to ordinary telescopes. To achieve such results, scientists used interferometry methods, which allowed them to obtain images with unprecedented resolution, comparable to the size of Earth. This means that we can observe objects located trillions of kilometers away with a detail that was once thought to be unattainable. And now, imagine that this black hole is not just existing, it is actively consuming surrounding matter, creating accretion disks that emit powerful X-ray radiation. This leads to the fact that galaxies like M87 become real factories for creating new stars. If you thought this was already amazing, then it gets even more interesting. The black hole in M87 and its counterparts not only influence their own galaxy, but can also control processes on much larger scales by interacting with other nearby galaxies. Scientific research continues, and scientists are confident that future discoveries will reveal many new facts about the behavior of these mysterious objects, which could fundamentally change our understanding of the universe. Each new step in the study of black holes like the one in M87 reveals unexpected aspects of the nature of gravity and matter. And perhaps one day, we will be able to answer the question of what happens beyond the event horizon and what secrets are hidden in dark matter. The Hubble Space Telescope, in its 30 years of operation, has made over 1,400,000 observations, equivalent to recordings of the most captivating phenomena in the cosmos. Imagine that this amount of data could fill approximately 150 terabytes of information. These data include images and spectra that have allowed astronomers to study stars, galaxies, and even exoplanets at an unprecedented level of detail. For instance, Hubble became the first observatory to capture light from a planet outside our solar system, opening new horizons in the search for extraterrestrial life. Did you know that precise distance measurements of distant galaxies obtained with Hubble helped refine the rate of the universe's expansion? This rate is approximately 72 kilometers per second per megaparsec. Now, imagine that every time Hubble takes a picture, it sends data to Earth at a speed exceeding the speed of sound in air. But that's not all. Some of the most iconic images, such as the Deep Field or the Cosmic Nebula, have become icons of astronomy and have inspired entire generations of researchers. Each image taken by the telescope contains not only the beauty of the cosmos, but also important scientific data that continue to be used for analysis and research. Astronomers worldwide daily turn to Hubble's archives to conduct their research. For example, the use of redshift data has helped determine how the first stars and galaxies formed after the Big Bang. Can you imagine that each new analysis could lead to a discovery that changes our understanding of the universe? And here's the most intriguing part. Hubble continues to operate, transmitting data that may reveal the deepest mysteries of the cosmos, and already astronomers are preparing for new, amazing discoveries that are simply impossible to predict. Among the vast expanses of our universe, there exists a cosmic cloud that even the most experienced astronomers find astonishing. Sagittarius B2. This cloud contains an incredible amount of ethanol, approximately 400 trillion litres. To help you visualize this, imagine that this amount of alcohol could fill more than 50 billion bottles, each holding 2,000 litres. But that's not all. Within this cloud, scientists have discovered complex organic molecules that could be the precursors to life. Picture these molecules potentially playing a role in the formation of new stars and planets, creating conditions for the emergence of life. And now, the most intriguing part. This cloud is located approximately 186,000 light-years away from us. This means that the light we see today was emitted into space when Earth was still home only to the simplest bacteria. Sagittarius B2 is not just a cloud of alcohol. It is a true laboratory where numerous chemical reactions occur, similar to those that might have led to the emergence of life on Earth. Did you know that the alcohol we drink is chemically identical to the alcohol present in the cosmos? This raises questions about how such complex molecules can form in the seemingly empty void of space. But there's more. The cloud also contains other organic compounds, such as formaldehyde and methanol, making it a treasure trove for astronomers and chemists. Scientists continue to study these substances, trying to understand how they might influence the formation of planets and, possibly, even the emergence of life. And imagine this. The cloud might contain the building blocks for the creation of new forms of life on planets yet to be discovered by humans. With each new discovery in Sagittarius B2, new questions arise about how life might have evolved in other corners of the universe. For instance, could the alcohol in such clouds serve as a source of energy for future forms of life? Or does it simply remain in the cosmos, unused? Remarkably, over 60 molecules have already been found in the cloud that could be linked to life. Doesn't this sound like the beginning of a fantastic story about how life could have emerged in the most unexpected places? On Pluto, a heart has been discovered. A bright region in the shape of a heart, composed of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide with an area of approximately 1 million square kilometers. Remarkably, this shape is visible even from a distance of more than 4 billion kilometers from Earth. Scientists believe that such a bright structure is the result of complex geological processes that occurred on the surface of Pluto. Imagine that the temperature on Pluto fluctuates around minus 250 degrees Celsius, and under such conditions, frozen gases form unique geological formations. The heart is mainly composed of nitrogen, and its surface is covered with ice that can be either hard or soft, depending on the temperature and pressure. But that's not the most surprising. There are suggestions that beneath this icy crust lies an ocean of liquid water. If this is indeed the case, it opens up exciting possibilities for the existence of life in conditions that we could never have imagined. Do you know what's even more astonishing? Research shows that Pluto's heart is constantly changing, and its shape can evolve over millions of years. This means that we still don't know the full truth about what is happening on this distant dwarf planet. By the way, the bright regions on Pluto have their own names. One of them is called Sputnik and is located right in the center of the heart. These unique formations raise many questions about Pluto's climate and history. How could they have formed in such extreme conditions? Research in this area continues, and new data is received with each new mission. And here's what's most interesting. The bright heart on Pluto reflects around 60% of the sunlight, making it one of the brightest areas on the planet's surface. This discovery amazes astronomers and makes them wonder what else might be hidden on Pluto, where temperatures are so low that gases freeze into crystalline structures. Could we be on the brink of discovering new forms of life in the most unexpected places in the solar system? The spacecraft Voyager 1 became the first human-made object to leave the boundaries of the solar system, achieving this feat in August 2020. Imagine this. It travels through the vast expanse of space, more than 24 billion kilometers away from Earth. That's about 32 times farther than the distance to the Sun. On board, Voyager 1 is a golden disk with information about our planet, intended for potential extraterrestrial civilizations. This disk contains images, sounds, and greetings in 55 languages. But what's truly astonishing is that Voyager 1 moves at a speed of almost 15 kilometers per second. This speed allows the spacecraft to continue its journey through interstellar space, where it has already crossed the boundary of the heliosphere, the region where the influence of the solar wind is still significant. How was this possible? Voyager 1 used gravitational maneuvers around Jupiter and Saturn, which provided it with additional speed, as if the cosmic giants were helping it escape the embrace of the solar system. The unique design of the spacecraft includes a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, which supplies power to all its systems for decades. And after more than 40 years of flight, Voyager 1 continues to transmit data about the interstellar environment, including particle density and magnetic fields, which are nothing like what we observe within our system. And consider this. The signal from Voyager 1 takes more than 20 hours to reach us. This means we receive information with a significant time delay, as if we were communicating with a time-traveling cosmic traveler. But that's not all. Voyager 1 has witnessed incredible phenomena, such as cosmic rays that it records. These data help scientists better understand how our solar system interacts with the surrounding cosmos. And the craziest part? Voyager 1 will continue to travel through eternity, perhaps forever preserving the memory of our civilization in the boundless expanse of the universe. On Venus, a day is longer than a year. The planet completes a full rotation around its axis in 243 Earth days, while it takes only 225 days to orbit the Sun. This might sound absurd, but that's how this enigmatic planet is structured. But wait, there's more. Venus rotates in the opposite direction, so on its surface, the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Imagine the morning light breaking through the dense clouds of sulfuric acid that envelop the planet. These clouds not only obscure it from our view, but also create a greenhouse effect, resulting in surface temperatures reaching nearly 700 degrees Celsius. Yes, 700 degrees, hotter than the surface of most ovens. How is this possible? The answer lies in the atmosphere, which is composed of 97% carbon dioxide, making it one of the densest and most toxic in the solar system. But that's not all. The surface pressure on Venus is 9 times higher than on Earth. If you were there, you would be crushed, as if you were at a depth of nearly a kilometer underwater. And what's even more shocking, Venus has mountains up to 7 kilometers high, which are true giants compared to the highest mountains on Earth. This means the planet's landscape is very diverse. Towering peaks, deep valleys, and vast plains dotted with active volcanoes. Studies suggest that there might even be craters that once contained lava. And now, imagine that in this hellish atmosphere, primitive life forms could have existed. Yes, you heard right. Scientists propose that in Venus's clouds, simple life forms might have survived, using sulfuric acid as a source of energy. One day, when we send more advanced research probes, we might find evidence of this. Meanwhile, Venus enjoys an eternal day that lasts longer than its year, and this planet continues to be one of the most mysterious in our solar system. It's intriguing to think about what other secrets it might be hiding beneath its cloudy veil. Gamma-ray bursts, GRBs, are a phenomenon that leaves scientists both awestruck and bewildered. Imagine this. In just 1 second, they release more energy than our Sun does over its entire lifespan of about 10 billion years. These colossal explosions can occur as a result of the collapse of a massive star transforming into a black hole, or during the collision of neutron stars, creating the most powerful shockwaves. The most astonishing fact is that gamma-ray bursts can be billions of times brighter than any other astronomical object. For instance, the burst that occurred in 2014 was so powerful that it could be observed with the naked eye, despite being billions of light years away from Earth. But that's not all. Gamma-ray bursts emit radiation in the range of 100 to 36 million electron volts, making them the most energetic events in the universe. Scientists believe that such bursts may be associated with moments when stars are destroyed, creating unimaginable conditions. And what happens when this energy reaches Earth? It can affect the atmosphere, causing polar auroras that can be seen at high latitudes. 80% of the gamma-ray bursts we detect occur in the distant cosmos, and each such burst gives us a chance to peer into the deepest mysteries of the universe. It's interesting to note that gamma-ray bursts were only discovered in the 1960s when satellites designed for monitoring nuclear tests accidentally detected these powerful signals. Since then, astronomers have been trying to unravel the mechanisms behind their occurrence. But wait, there's more. The most powerful gamma-ray burst ever recorded, GRB 130427A, occurred in 2014 and had an energy equivalent to that of 37 billion suns. This event left scientists baffled, and they are still trying to understand how such a phenomenon is possible. Each new gamma-ray burst opens up new doors to worlds we never even imagined. The cosmos is filled with incredible discoveries, and one of them is planets made of diamonds. For instance, Planet 55 Cancri, located 44 light-years away from Earth, has attracted the attention of astronomers with its unusual composition. Research has shown that its core may contain up to 30% carbon, which can transform into diamonds under high pressure and temperature. Imagine a planet the size of Earth, but with a surface where diamonds sparkle instead of familiar rocks. But that's not the most astonishing part. The temperature on this planet exceeds 2,000 degrees Celsius. Such extreme conditions create a world where diamonds are not just rare, but almost ubiquitous. And here's what's even more shocking. The planet has been found to have massive showers of molten silicon, which can form unique geological formations. It's possible that this world once had conditions suitable for life before its atmosphere changed beyond recognition. Complex models show that the planet's atmosphere is mostly composed of carbon and hydrogen, creating an opaque layer that accumulates heat. One of the main mysteries remains: how such a planet could have formed, given its composition and location in the system. But that's not all. Astronomers suggest that there may be millions of such diamond planets in our galaxy, opening new horizons in the study of planetary science. Each new analysis of data from telescopes like Kepler helps us better understand how such exotic worlds are formed. And when we think we know everything about planets, we discover that there are entire worlds in the cosmos where diamonds can be an everyday occurrence, not a precious stone. How will they change our understanding of the nature and wealth of other planets? In space, absolute silence reigns. And this is not just a metaphor. Sound, as we understand it, cannot exist in a vacuum. Why? Because sound requires a medium for propagation, and there is no such medium in space. However, what is truly astonishing is that despite the absence of sound, space is filled with electromagnetic oscillations. These oscillations can take various forms, from radio waves to X-rays. NASA uses special instruments, such as spectroscopes, to capture these signals and convert them into sound waves. Imagine this. When we listen to the sounds of space, these are not sounds in the usual sense, but the result of complex data processing. For example, a signal received from a nearby star can be converted into a sound wave that sounds like mysterious music whispering about distant worlds. Did you know that such conversions allowed scientists to hear the song of a black hole? It sounds like a low hum, whose frequency is comparable to low-frequency musical instruments, creating an atmosphere of mystery and intrigue. This discovery was made in 2021 when a team of astronomers analyzed data from the Perseus galaxy, where a black hole emits oscillations like wind chimes. But that's not all. Electromagnetic waves can contain information about the composition of stars and planets, their temperature, and even the potential for life. How is this possible? Thanks to spectroscopy, scientists can read the signals that stars send, as if they were pages of a book revealing the secrets of the universe. Did you know that each star sings its own unique song based on its chemical composition? If we could hear all these sounds simultaneously, it would be a true cosmic symphonic orchestra. And here arises the question: what else do these invisible sounds hide, which we cannot yet hear? Have you heard about the sounds emitted by the magnetospheres of planets? Scientists have recorded the music of Jupiter and Saturn, which sounds like a cosmic echo penetrating the depths of our perception. Signals received from these planets oscillate in a range that we can interpret as melodies, opening up completely new horizons for sound research in astronomy. The Great Wall of Sloan is not just an architectural marvel, but a genuine galactic structure spanning 1,370 billion light-years. Imagine trying to connect all the galaxies into one enormous chain, whose length exceeds the distance from Earth to the farthest corners of the universe. This colossal object consists of thousands of galaxies forming a kind of mesh, where each galaxy can contain billions of stars. What is astonishing is that at the center of this structure lies a gigantic empty space known as the Sloan Void. The dimensions of this void are breathtaking. It exceeds 30 million light-years in diameter and is practically devoid of matter. Scientists are wondering how such a massive structure could have formed in our universe. The answer may lie in cosmological evolution, where gravitational interactions between galaxies created this incredible structure. But that's not all. The Great Wall of Sloan was preceded by other large formations, such as the Kepler Wall and the Laniakea Wall, each demonstrating how gravity shapes our cosmos. Did you know that within the Great Wall of Sloan there are more than 7,000 galaxies, and their number continues to grow with the discovery of new objects? Meanwhile, all these galaxies are in constant motion, moving away from each other due to the expansion of the universe. What is even more astonishing is that this wall is just a small part of an enormous cosmic web that connects galaxies and galaxy clusters into a unified network. One of the most intriguing theories suggests that the structure may influence the distribution of dark matter in the cosmos, and thus the formation of stars and galaxies. If you thought these distances were impressive, consider that many of these galaxies may be completely inaccessible to our observation, as light from them takes billions of years to reach us. And the most shocking part? Some astronomers believe that similar walls may exist in other parts of the universe, not yet opened to us, so studying the Great Wall of Sloan could lead to the greatest discoveries. In our solar system, there is a region that few people know about, but it is full of mysteries and extraordinary objects: the Kuiper Belt. This is not just the emptiness beyond Neptune's orbit, but a space where thousands of icy bodies reside, among which Pluto stands out, once considered the 9th planet. The Kuiper Belt extends from 30 to 100 astronomical units from the Sun and consists mainly of ice and rock objects. What's even more astonishing, some of these objects are as large as planets. For instance, Eris, discovered in 2005, is almost as large as Pluto, with a diameter of around 1,200 kilometers. But this is just the beginning. Scientists believe there could be millions more objects waiting to be discovered. Imagine that these icy bodies, many of which have their own moons, could hold the keys to understanding the formation of our solar system. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Kuiper Belt is that it contains not only small objects, but also those that could be significant for future space research. For example, an object called Haumea, which resembles an ellipse in shape and has a diameter of around 1,200 kilometers, is too small to be considered a planet, but large enough for interesting processes to occur. Remarkably, the Kuiper Belt is also home to many comets that periodically become visible from Earth. For instance, Comet Hale-Bopp, which appeared in the 90s, likely originated from this belt. But that's not all. The Kuiper Belt has its own graveyards of icy bodies that may preserve traces of ancient forms of life or even organic compounds that could provide clues about how life might have arisen on Earth. Given that some of these objects could have existed there for billions of years, they might hold information that could change our understanding not only of our planet, but of life throughout the universe. What else might be hidden in this mysterious belt that stretches thousands of kilometers further than we could ever have imagined? At the heart of our Milky Way galaxy lies a supermassive black hole named Sagittarius A star, with a mass of 4 million solar masses. Imagine this. It's as if you gathered 4 million of our suns and compressed them into an invisible point, where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. But here's the most astonishing part. Black holes like Sagittarius A star form from collapsing stars, and their existence challenges many of our notions about the nature of time and space. Did you know that scientists have been able to observe the movement of stars around this black hole? These stars orbit at incredible speeds, approaching nearly 1/3 the speed of light, allowing astronomers to calculate the mass of Sagittarius A star with remarkable precision. Using the Harmony telescope, astronomers have watched stars just a few million kilometers from the event horizon of the black hole and discovered that one of them, named S2, completes a full orbit around Sagittarius A star every 15 years. But that's not all. Research suggests that in the center of the Milky Way, besides Sagittarius A, there may be other massive black holes that are just as mysterious and enigmatic. While Sagittarius A star actively consumes surrounding material, astronomers suspect that these black holes may be involved in the processes that shape galaxies. How is this possible? The answer lies in the powerful gravity that not only attracts, but also shapes the structure of the galaxy. Now, imagine that near this black hole, there could be entire star systems, like ours, trying to survive in this gravitational hell. This raises the question, how can life exist in such extreme conditions? Some scientists suggest that, despite the dangers, stars and planets could form even near black holes. And what's even more fascinating, Sagittarius, a star, plays a crucial role in the dynamics of the entire galaxy. Its gravitational pull affects stars and gas, forming spiral arms and other structures that we observe in the Milky Way. But did you know that black holes like Sagittarius A star can emit powerful X-ray radiation when the material around them heats up to extreme temperatures? This phenomenon is called accretion, and it causes light bursts that can be millions of times brighter than anything we see in the sky. It's like if your light bulb suddenly shone with light much brighter than the sun. Black holes like Sagittarius A star can be sources of new discoveries that will change our understanding of the universe. And the most exciting part, astronomers are still searching for evidence of even larger black holes in other galaxies, and this could lead to discoveries that we can't even imagine. In space, molecules of alcohol have been discovered, and this is not just an interesting fact. It is a discovery that changes our understanding of how stars are formed. Imagine gas clouds composed of hydrogen, helium, and, surprise, ethanol. Yes, that's right. In the nebulae where stars are born, scientists have found alcohol molecules that can make up to 1/3 of the mass of some clouds. But that's not all. These clouds also contain methanol and other organic compounds that could serve as the basis for life. What does this mean? In space, there may already be the building blocks of life waiting for their moment. A scientific team from the Institute of Astronomy in Cambridge, using radio telescopes, has detected the presence of ethanol at a distance of over 130 light-years from Earth in the Orion Nebula. This nebula, by the way, is one of the brightest and most studied in our sky. It is home to thousands of new stars that are slowly forming from these clouds. And here's where it gets really fascinating. How could alcohol molecules form in such extreme conditions? The answer lies in chemical reactions that occur at high temperatures and pressures, leading to the formation of complex organic compounds. This discovery raises many questions about the origin of life on Earth and beyond. If you thought this was amazing, wait until you hear this. Scientists believe that similar molecules could exist in other parts of our galaxy and even in other galaxies. For example, in the Christmas Nebula, located about 30,000 light-years away, complex organic molecules have also been found. What does this mean for the search for extraterrestrial life? Now imagine that in these nebulae, planets could form where life could develop in conditions completely different from those on Earth. This discovery opens up new horizons for astronomy and astrophysics, as well as for studying how life might have arisen in other corners of the universe. But here's what's truly shocking. Alcohol molecules are not just forming in space. They could be part of what we call cosmic wine. Scientists believe that these molecules could even influence the chemical composition and atmosphere of planets that form in these clouds. Sounds like a science fiction plot, doesn't it? Now imagine that during the formation of stars in these clouds, conditions could arise that could lead to the appearance of life similar to ours. Mars is home to the volcano Olympus, which will impress you with its size. Its height is 21,900 meters, which is 2.5 times the height of Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth. Imagine this giant towering over the Martian landscape, with its base covering an area comparable to the entire area of France. Olympus is not only the highest, but also the largest shield volcano in the solar system. Its formation resulted from multiple eruptions over millions of years, creating layers of lava that accumulated and formed this enormous cone. But that's not all. Its crater, with a diameter of around 80 kilometers, could accommodate an entire city. Did you know that there are signs of ancient glaciation on its slopes? Scientific research indicates that beneath the dust could lie ice deposits that could provide insights into the planet's past climate. Now, imagine that Olympus might still be active. How is this possible? Research shows that the volcano may have residual heat, allowing it to remain in a state of potential eruption. This raises many questions. Is there a chance for life hidden beneath its icy coverings on Mars? Or perhaps, in the future, humanity could establish colonies there, utilizing the resources of this colossal volcano. Remarkably, scientists have discovered traces of water ice on its slopes, making Olympus not only a geological marvel, but also a potential source of water for future explorers. But that's not all. Beneath its base, there might be magma that could one day erupt to the surface. What other secrets does this giant, which has been watching over Mars for millions of years, still hold? In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there may be up to 40 billion planets that resemble Earth in their conditions. This figure is astonishing, isn't it? Scientific research shows that around 30% of stars similar to our Sun may have planets in what is known as the habitable zone. This is the region around a star where temperatures allow water to exist in a liquid state. Imagine planets with oceans stretching for thousands of kilometers, atmospheres filled with oxygen, and life developing in the most diverse forms. But how is this possible? The key lies in the fact that stars vary in size and brightness, and even small stars, such as red dwarfs, can have planets in this zone. What's even more astonishing? These stars can live for up to 30 trillion years, which is several times longer than our Sun. This opens up incredible prospects for finding extraterrestrial life. Now, imagine that these planets could have ecosystems completely different from ours, with forms of life that we can't even imagine. Research shows that such conditions may not be rare. In our galaxy, which consists of more than 100 billion stars, the chances of finding at least one planet with life increase with each new discovery. 86% of the stars we observe have planets, which means that in every third star, there may be a planet with conditions suitable for life. But that's not all. Astronomers use new technologies such as the Kepler Space Telescope to search for planets in the habitable zone. This telescope has discovered thousands of exoplanets, and some of them are very similar to Earth. For example, Kepler 452b, located about 1,400 light-years away, has sizes comparable to Earth and is in the habitable zone of its star. This creates an incredible opportunity to study potential forms of life beyond our planet. And the most interesting thing? Scientists believe that in the future, we may even discover more habitable worlds using new methods of search and data analysis. With each new discovery, we are getting closer to understanding how diverse our cosmos is. At the center of some galaxies lie quasars, the brightest objects in the universe, with luminosity that can exceed that of 1 trillion stars, making them true cosmic beacons. But how do they achieve such extraordinary power? It all begins with supermassive black holes, whose mass can reach billions of solar masses. These black holes absorb surrounding material, forming an accretion disk. Temperatures in this disk can reach millions of degrees, and it is this that leads to the release of colossal amounts of energy. The most astonishing thing is that during this process, quasars can emit more energy than the entire galaxy in which they reside. For example, the quasar designated OK227 has a luminosity equivalent to that of 2 trillion suns. This means that even when located billions of light-years away from Earth, we can observe their brilliance as if they were in our immediate vicinity. Imagine this. You are on a planet orbiting a star, and suddenly a quasar appears in the sky, so bright that its light outshines all other stars. But this is not the most unusual thing. Some quasars can change their brightness in just a few days, which puzzles scientists. How can such a massive amount of energy change so quickly? This is because the material falling into the black hole can be uneven, causing brightness spikes that we observe from Earth. And here is where it gets truly extraordinary. Some quasars are not just static light sources, but moving objects that can traverse the sky at speeds close to the speed of light. The most astonishing part is that once, astronomers observed a quasar that was so distant that its light began to travel to us when the universe was only a few billion years old. This information allows us to look back in time, when the universe was young and full of mysteries. Quasars are not just bright points in the sky. They serve as important indicators for understanding the evolution of galaxies and the universe itself. In some cases, quasars can be associated with powerful particle jets ejected from the poles of the black hole, which travel to intergalactic space. These jets can extend for millions of light years and influence the surrounding environment, creating new stars and galaxies. So, the next star you see in the sky might not just be a star, but a part of a grand cosmic story in which quasars play a key role. On exoplanets of the hot Jupiters class, conditions are so extreme that they force us to rethink everything we know about how other worlds might look. Imagine a planet where rain consists of molten glass and iron. Yes, you heard it right. On such planets, located just a few million kilometers from their star, temperatures can exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius. Winds on these exoplanets can reach speeds of 5,000 to 7,000 kilometers per hour, which is several times faster than the speed of sound. These scorched giants have atmospheres composed of hydrogen and helium, but they are subjected to incredible meteorological phenomena. How is this possible? The fact is that hot Jupiters have very close orbits to their stars, which leads to the intense heating of their surface and atmosphere. But that's not all. What is even more shocking? On such planets, clouds can consist of sodium crystals that evaporate under the heat and then condense again, creating toxic rains that scorch everything in their path. These planets can shock not only with their conditions, but also with the fact that they change our understanding of possible forms of life. How can such exoplanets exist if there are clearly no conditions for life as we know it? The answer is not as simple as it seems. Some scientists suggest that the atmosphere of hot Jupiters could harbor microorganisms that have adapted to these extreme conditions, using minerals and gases as a source of energy. And this is where it gets really crazy. Around such planets as WASP-76b, there are persistent atmospheric flows that carry hot gases from one side of the planet to the other, creating colossal temperature contrasts. This results in one half of the planet being bathed in eternal day, while the other is plunged into endless night. If you thought that exoplanets were just distant worlds, then you should take a look at their atmosphere. It can contain more than 6% copper, making it truly unique in our understanding of the cosmos. Can you imagine what it would look like to see a rain of molten glass falling from the sky at a wind speed of 7,000 kilometers per hour? It resembles a scene from a science fiction film, but in reality, this is a possibility that exists in our universe. On Jupiter, polar auroras manifest with colossal force, hundreds of times stronger than those on Earth. When we talk about Jupiter, imagine that its magnetic field is 20 times stronger than Earth's. This creates conditions for extraordinary phenomena. High-energy particles entering the planet's atmosphere collide with atoms and molecules, causing luminosity that can be seen from a distance greater than the distance from Earth to the Moon. In a sense, it's like a giant, glowing advertisement in space, visible to the naked eye. Jupiter's polar auroras can reach heights of up to 3,000 kilometers, and their brightness can sometimes exceed that of a star. But that's not all. Jupiter exhibits unique colors not seen on Earth, including vibrant purple and red hues, caused by interactions with various chemical elements in the atmosphere. Now, imagine that this atmosphere is not just composed of familiar gases like hydrogen and helium, but also of ammonia, methane, and water vapor. This creates conditions for the formation of polar auroras that can appear as long, sinuous bands of light, several times wider than the most powerful auroras on our planet. If you thought polar auroras were only a terrestrial delight, then you're in for a surprise. They are just part of a broader cosmic spectacle unfolding on other planets. On Saturn, for instance, polar auroras are equally impressive. They can stretch up to 1,000 kilometers and appear as giant, glowing coronas enveloping the planet's poles. These phenomena are of particular interest to astronomers because they can provide insights into magnetic fields and atmospheric processes not only on other planets but also in our own solar system. And the most astonishing thing is that on some exoplanets beyond our solar system, polar auroras may also exist, although we cannot observe them yet. Dark energy, a mysterious substance that makes up approximately 68% of the entire universe, and its effect on the cosmos is simply astonishing. This energy is not just present in space, it actively propels it, causing galaxies to accelerate away from each other. Imagine that the universe is expanding so quickly that some distant galaxies could disappear from our visible horizon within a few billion years. How is this possible? Scientists still cannot provide a precise answer to this question. The most shocking detail is that dark energy, in essence, is the antithesis of gravity. Instead of attracting, it repels, causing space to expand. But that's not all. Dark energy may harbour all sorts of mysteries waiting to be revealed. 80% of the energy in the universe, about which we know nothing, is a true puzzle for astronomers and physicists. How was it discovered? Research using supernovae allowed scientists to understand that the expansion of the universe is not just constant, it is accelerating. These results were published in 2001 and revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos. One could say that dark energy is like an invisible mechanism that controls how the universe moves. However, imagine this. While we employ complex technologies to study it, are there perhaps laws of physics that we haven't even suspected? Are there other forms of energy that could interact with dark energy? Developments in astrophysics suggest that there may be many unexpected discoveries in this direction. Many scientists believe that dark energy may be connected to quantum fluctuations in the vacuum, but how exactly does this work? This remains a subject of heated debate. And now, the strangest part. Some theories suggest that dark energy may change over time, which could challenge our current understanding of physics. As we continue to explore this enigmatic substance, imagine that beyond our comprehension may lie a whole world of even stranger phenomena. How many more secrets does the cosmos hold? At present, scientists are building hypotheses and testing theories. But in the realm of dark energy, there is still much that remains unexplored, waiting to be discovered. Imagine a star rotating so fast that its light reaches us with incredible precision. Pulsars, rotating neutron stars, can emit radio waves with periods of just a few milliseconds. This means they can serve as cosmic clocks that are far more accurate than any human-made clock. Some of them rotate so quickly that they make up to 1,000 revolutions per second. But that's not all. The radio waves they emit form characteristic pulsations that can be observed as regular signals, reminiscent of the ticking of a clock mechanism. The discovery of the first pulsar occurred in 1967 when astronomers Jocelyn Bell Burnell and Anthony Hewish noticed unusual radio signals that they initially took for signals from extraterrestrial beings. These signals turned out to be pulsating waves from a neutron star rotating on its axis. What is truly remarkable is that pulsars have such stable periods that they can be used to test theories of relativity. When a pulsar is in a binary system with another star, its pulsations can help astronomers accurately measure gravitational interactions. For example, pulsar PSRB 1913+16, discovered in 1974, provided the first evidence of the existence of gravitational waves predicted by Albert Einstein. It was so stable that astronomers could track its changes over many years, allowing them to detect even the smallest fluctuations in its emission periods. If you thought pulsars were just interesting objects for observation, consider this. They can rotate at such high speeds that the energy released can be enough to heat an entire planet. For instance, pulsar J1748-2446 AD can rotate at speeds of up to 700 revolutions per second and releases energy equivalent to several billion solar masses. But the surprises don't end there. Pulsars can have what are known as periodic changes that may indicate the presence of planetary bodies around them. Scientists have already found pulsars with exoplanets orbiting them, like planets around the Sun, opening new horizons in the study of the cosmos. And what is astonishing? Some of these exoplanets may be in the habitable zone, where conditions could potentially be suitable for life. This makes pulsars not only cosmic clocks, but also important objects for the search for life beyond our planet. Cosmic strings are hypothetical one-dimensional defects in the structure of spacetime, which could have formed during events related to the birth of the universe. These strings, which can reach lengths of up to 33 billion kilometers, are theorized to possess unique properties that allow them to interact with matter and energy at levels inaccessible to our current instruments. Imagine that each such string could be 1 billion times thinner than a hair, yet have a mass comparable to that of a planet. This means they could distort space around them, creating unimaginable gravitational effects. And the most shocking thing? They could explain the paradox of dark matter, as many physicists suggest that cosmic strings could be the very building blocks of dark matter, which makes up about 96% of all matter in the universe. But that's not the strangest part. Some theories suggest that these strings could be linked to quantum fluctuations that occurred in the first moments after the Big Bang. At that time, the temperature reached trillions of degrees Kelvin, and the density of matter was so high that space and time themselves could vibrate, creating conditions for the formation of strings. Now imagine that these strings could still exist today, hidden in microscopic scales, undetectable directly. They could be responsible for various anomalies in the cosmic microwave background radiation that we register with modern telescopes. For example, in the 21st century, astronomers discovered anomalies in this background that cannot be explained by traditional cosmological models. These anomalies might actually be traces of the existence of cosmic strings. But the most intriguing question is how these strings could influence the structure of space-time in the future. Some theorists suggest that interactions between strings could lead to the formation of new forms of matter, or even the creation of mini black holes. This idea sparks much debate among scientists. Imagine, if these strings do exist, they could be the key to unraveling not only the mysteries of our universe, but also possible parallel worlds. Moreover, in recent years, a group of scientists from the Institute of Theoretical Physics in California began conducting experiments aimed at detecting these strings using complex mathematical models and simulations. And what's truly astonishing? According to calculations, if such strings exist, they could interact with particles in our world, creating effects that we could register. But this is just the beginning. Imagine a world where planets similar to Neptune orbit their stars at such close proximity that they heat up to temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius. These exotic worlds, known as hot Neptunes, present us with remarkable possibilities. Many of them are so close to their stars that their atmospheres become unbearably hot, and the pressure on their surfaces can reach extraordinary levels. For instance, the hot Neptune WASP 121b has a temperature of around 1,000 degrees. This means that on its surface, there could be unique conditions that facilitate the formation of exotic life forms, which we can hardly imagine. It is intriguing that these planets might be covered in clouds of molten glass that could simply evaporate in such high temperatures, creating extraordinary atmospheric phenomena. But that's not all. Hot Neptunes typically have masses several times greater than Earth's, which could indicate their ability to retain denser atmospheres than their cold counterparts. So, the question arises, how could such planets have formed? Perhaps the secret lies in the fact that they formed at great distances from their stars and then migrated closer, losing a significant portion of their original atmospheres in the process. Even in such extreme conditions, they can serve as homes for molecules that we consider essential for life. Scientists have found that on these planets, there can be water vapor, carbon dioxide, and even methane, making them objects of active study. If you thought this was just interesting information, consider this. One such planet, K218b, is located in the habitable zone of its star, which means that it could have conditions suitable for life as we know it. But how does the atmosphere of a hot Neptune look? And is it possible that life could develop in such conditions? Scientists continue to seek answers to these questions, and who knows what discoveries await us in the future. In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there are between 100 and 400 billion stars. Imagine this colossal cosmic scale. This number includes not only bright stars like our Sun, but also countless dim ones that we cannot see with the naked eye. Now, consider this. There are approximately 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, each of which could contain the same number of stars. This means that there are more than 80 trillion stars in the cosmos, which is 10 times the number of all the grains of sand on Earth. Do you realize what this means? If each star had its own planet, we would have tens of trillions of potential worlds where life could develop. But that's not the most fascinating part. Within the Milky Way, scientists have discovered an unimaginable diversity. From massive red giants to hot blue stars that shine millions of times brighter than our Sun. Moreover, stars do not just exist in the void. They form complex systems, interacting with each other through gravity. For instance, in our own system, there are not only planets, but also asteroids, comets, and numerous moons that create a unique cosmos around them. And what about black holes? There are probably more than 100 million black holes in the Milky Way, many of which formed as a result of supernova explosions. These mysterious objects have such gravitational pull that not even light can escape their boundaries. But that's not all. Recently, astronomers have begun discovering exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars, and more than 4,000 such objects have already been registered. Some of them are in what is known as the habitable zone, where conditions could be suitable for life. And the most shocking thing? Some of these exoplanets may be even more Earth-like than we had imagined, opening doors to countless questions about life beyond our planet. What do you think is still hidden in these boundless expanses? Every day, approximately 100 tons of cosmic material in the form of meteor dust falls to Earth. Imagine this. It's like a truck dumping a pile of small stones. But these stones are remnants of ancient comets and asteroids that have been traveling through space for billions of years. What's fascinating is that a large part of this material burns up in the atmosphere, turning into bright meteors that we can observe in the night sky. However, not all meteors burn completely. Each year, around 70 large meteors land on Earth, capable of leaving craters the size of small houses. Did you know that many of them contain rare minerals that can tell us about the formation of our solar system? For example, the Hoba meteorite found in Namibia weighs more than 30 tons and is mainly composed of iron and nickel. Scientific research on such meteorites helps scientists understand how planets formed and what processes occurred in the early solar system. But did you know that some meteors may carry traces of extraterrestrial life? In the Allen Hills meteorite from Antarctica, organic molecules were found that some researchers interpreted as possible evidence of life on Mars. This discovery shook the scientific community, forcing scientists to re-evaluate the possibility of life beyond Earth. Each meteorite carries a unique story, and this story may be older than our planet. For instance, meteors that have fallen on Earth are often dated to billions of years, making them witnesses to events that occurred long before the first forms of life appeared on our planet. So, when you look at the night sky and see a meteor, remember, it's not just a glowing point, but a piece of ancient history falling to us from the heavens. And here's the question. What else might these cosmic messengers be hiding? The constellation of Aquarius harbors something extraordinary. A cloud of water vapor containing water 143 trillion times more than all the oceans on Earth combined. Imagine this. The amount of water could cover the entire surface of Earth to a depth of 30 kilometers. This cloud, known as APM 08279 plus 5255, is located approximately 7 billion light-years away from us. And there's more. The temperature of this cloud is around 230 degrees Celsius, making it not only the largest, but also one of the hottest water clouds in the universe. What's even more astonishing? This cloud contains an enormous number of molecules, and scientists believe it could contain up to 20 trillion planets covered in oceans. But how is this possible at such a distance from Earth? The answer lies in the fact that this cloud formed as a result of the collapse of giant gas clouds in ancient times when the first stars and galaxies were being formed. Scientific research indicates that the water vapor in this cloud may be associated with an active black hole that is consuming matter and releasing incredible amounts of energy. This black hole, incidentally, has a mass of 2 billion solar masses. If you thought this was just another cosmic cloud, think again. It can create new stars and even entire galaxies, making it a key element in understanding the formation of the cosmos. And how does this affect our planet? Scientists suggest that studying such a cloud can help us better understand how water and life can develop on other planets in the habitable zones of other stars. It's important to remember that water is the primary component necessary for life, and the presence of such vast quantities may indicate that there are many more habitable places in the universe than we can imagine. Consider this. If there is water in such a cloud, how might this change our understanding of the cosmos? In the cosmos, there exist mysterious objects known as magnetars, which are neutron stars with magnetic fields that exceed Earth's by trillions of times. Imagine that the magnetic field of a magnetar is 1 billion times stronger than the strongest magnet on Earth. How is this possible? These stars form as a result of the collapse of massive stars that have exhausted their fuel and explode as supernovae, leaving behind compact objects with incredible density. For instance, a single teaspoon of material from the surface of a magnetar weighs around 30 million tons, the weight of an entire building. But that's not all. Magnetars emit powerful X-ray and gamma-ray radiation, which can be so intense that they can damage electronic devices on Earth if we get too close. What's even more astonishing, these stars can produce brief energy bursts that last only a few milliseconds, but release more energy than our Sun has over its entire lifetime. The most famous magnetar, SGR 1806-20, produced a burst in 2004 that was detected even at a distance of more than 8,000 light-years from us. Scientists still cannot fully explain the strength of these bursts and their impact on the surrounding environment. Magnetars also have an amazing property. They can switch between states, causing changes in their radiation. This is similar to looking at a light bulb that suddenly starts flickering without any apparent reason. But wait, there's more. These stars can damage their own surfaces under strong magnetic fields, causing seismic activity in the star's structure, which leads to the formation of cracks. This is akin to a strong earthquake on the surface of Earth. As a result, magnetars are not only objects of study, but also genuine cosmic enigmas with secrets that humanity is just beginning to unravel. And what's truly remarkable, their magnetic fields can influence the space around them, creating a sort of magnetic storm that propels charged particles over vast distances. In the constellation of Taurus lies the Crab Nebula, and it's not just a cloud of gas. It's the remnant of a supernova star, whose explosion was a true cosmic spectacle. Imagine this. In 1054, Chinese astronomers recorded a bright light visible even during the day, signaling a monumental event in the sky. What happened to that star? It exploded with the force equivalent to billions of atomic bombs, leaving behind not only light, but also an extraordinary cosmic phenomenon. The Crab Nebula, with a diameter of about 6 light-years, is not just the remains of a star. It's a laboratory for astronomers. It consists of hot gas and dust moving at speeds up to 1,000 kilometers per second. Scientific research shows that this nebula is one of the most studied objects in our galaxy. But that's not all. Have you ever seen photographs taken by the Hubble Space Telescope? In them, the Crab Nebula appears as a colorful cloud, but its structure is much more complex. At the center of the nebula lies a neutron star, rotating at an incredible speed, up to 30 times per second. What's even more astonishing, this star, known as a pulsar, emits powerful radio waves that can be detected on Earth. This means that every 30 seconds we receive a signal from the distant cosmos, reminding us of a catastrophe that occurred more than 1,000 years ago. But how do such events influence our perception of the universe? They make us ponder how many mysteries still await discovery. The Crab Nebula is not just the remains of a star. It's a library of cosmic history that continues to reveal new pages. And the most incredible part? It's only 1,300 light-years away from us, making it a relatively close object for study, which means we have a chance to learn more about it.